Hey guys, this is Poet Spice, and I am here to do Sassy Coloring's Mid-Year Freak Out Coloring Book Tag 2021, and my girl JoJo Zahana tagged me on this one, so I'm going to go ahead and get that done. In the description box below, I'll leave links and the questions so you can follow along because I'm tagging everybody. So if you're watching and you haven't done it, you are tagged. Tagged. By the time I get around to doing it, I don't know who's done it or not. So I'm tagging everybody. Okay, so let's get on with the questions. There's 10 of them. And it says, number 1, what's the best pictures you've colored so far in 2021? I don't know if you're like me or like in the craft community. Our best one is usually the one we just finished. Unless you hated it. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, in this mythographic one, Odyssey, I did my buddy colors with JoJo, and so I couldn't decide which one of these two I liked the best, so I'm just going to show you both. So one is Talos, and I absolutely love the colors. I absolutely love how everything turned out. I used different medium on here, and I just love it. And it's got that whole biomechanical, steampunk, mixed with nature, weird quirkiness going on. And I love how it came out. So, that's the one. And then the other one is this one, the Dia de los Muertos. So I could not decide between the two. I love the colors that I chose on this one. And it took me a long time to do this page. Not necessarily to actually color it, but because I could not decide which colorway I wanted to go with. And then I just decided I was going to go with this like peachy, orangey red and go with it. And so once I decided that, I was like, yes. Then I was trying to figure out what was I going to do with the buildings. And I love how this came out. I like the definition of things. I just like how they all mix together. And so those are my two favorite pages so far from 2021, which would be all my coloring pages anyway, because I only started with the quote-unquote adult coloring books, even though I had some several years ago. Pretty much this year in March. Okay, so number 2 says, what is your most colored in book of 2021? Oddly enough, these two tied. So the Tiny Little Horrors coloring book and the Beauty of Horror, which is kind of funny because I'm not a real big, huge horror type person. I used to watch horror movies all the time, but I got away from that a while ago, like decades ago. So I'll watch them every now and then. So I actually colored 3 in each one of these. So this one I just did for Olga Ronnie's Old Man Challenge, or Color and Find It. I did this one and it would go for her bats. And I did this one because I liked it. So I've got 3 in there colored. And then in the Beauty of Horror, I have 3 in there. So I've got the Gingies, because Christmas is my favorite holiday. So I've got the Burning House Gingies. This one I did, which is in my July color pages. And I was going to put a background, and I'm like, no, I'm not. It's done. We're done. And then I have, where's the third one? Merry Christmas. So, yeah. Those, oddly enough, are the ones I have the most colored in. Okay. Now, it says, number 3, what is the newly released coloring book you haven't colored in yet but want to? So, this is kind of funny because it kind of goes with the previous 2. I bought this one by Alan Robert, The Beauty of Horror 4, another gorgeous coloring book, creature feature. And it came out in 2020. I think they said it did. Yeah, 2020. And I've not colored in it at all. But what I thought was funny about this one is, remember I said I used to be into horror movies? And it has a lot of the old school horror movies in it. So like this, like The Nun and all that kind of stuff, this new stuff, I haven't seen a lot of it because I'm like, they've taken it a little too far. But some of this stuff is so funny. So like The Exorcist, oh my gosh, I will never end up watching that movie. I started watching part of it, and I'm talking about the old like 1970s one. I was like, oh heck no, we ain't watching this one. But Freddy, like, what child of the 80s has not seen a Freddy movie? And then here, I love this page. I'm like, this page, when I saw somebody do the flip through, was pretty much the page that sold. After I looked at the whole thing, this was the one that sold, because this is hilarious that you have all these creatures in the movie theater watching the movie. And you would be the movie since you're the one coloring it. And I like that it's the old school one. So you got Jason. This is what, Lon Chaney. I forget who he is. Scream Dude. I don't know who that one is. I think that's like Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. Freddy. Classic Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Old Wolfman, Chucky, Hannibal. See, now there's the Nun. I think this is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Michael Myers. So these are like your old school horror stuff, except for the Nun. So I was like, ha ha ha. And the funny thing is that he's changed it. So you've got her on top of like Godzilla. Hilarious. All right, so that's a new release that I have not colored in yet, but want to. Number 4, most anticipated release of the second half of the year. I already purchased the Hannah Carlzon books because I was like, I'm not waiting until August. So the ones I'm looking forward to are the new Mythographic. There's the Wanderlust one that's coming out in October. I thought there was an August one, but I can't seem to find it. But there's one coming out in October, the Wanderlust one, and then there's another one coming out January that's like a winter one. Okay, number 5, favorite new artist or publishing company that you discovered in 2021. Like I said, almost everybody on the list, excuse me, is new to me. But so far, my favorite, beyond the other ones, my favorite, like, standout would be Josh Lee. Because these are fabulous. He only has these 2 that I know of as far as books go. But I love those. Matter of fact, I've got, 3 buddy colors in one. We had a buddy color in another one. Yeah. Okay. So 6 says, did you try any new coloring techniques this year? So once again, basically, yeah, because, but see, it's not brand new to me because I craft. And so since I do colored images, a lot of this stuff isn't new. It's just applying it to a bigger page. So Derwent Ink Tints from my girl JoJo. Oh my gosh, JoJo. So I would say this would be the new technique that I used in coloring books, because I had a 32 set, but I used them to color stamped images or to make my own art. So having these and using them in coloring books would be the new technique. Also, even though, like I said, it's not new because I craft, using distress inks in a coloring book, that would be new as well, as far as applying it to a coloring book. Number 7, what book do you want to finish the most this year? I have no, I don't really care about finishing a book this year. It's more about trying to make sure I color in my books. So I don't have that goal. Another one says, have you completed any coloring books this year? No. Is there any coloring book that you bought this year that you regret? Yes, this one. And I know there's probably people out there like having heart attacks because this is the one I regret buying. I do regret buying this book. Number 1, it wasn't cheap. I mean, it's not like his books are overly, like $85, but it wasn't cheap. And I bought it because I bought World Within Worlds, and I bought the other ones that I did not have. And I've seen so many people do some gorgeous pictures in here. So when I bought it, I was like, oh, that'd be so beautiful. And as you see, I don't even have, the spine's not even cracked. I'm about to crack it right now. So why do I regret buying this book? One, like, the images are fabulous. Don't get me wrong. Like, I would probably color this one. And the artwork is fabulous. I mean, it's still gorgeous. I'd probably color this one. What I regret about it is that it's just realistic pictures for the most part. I mean, like, this isn't totally realistic, but it's got way more of these, oh, I'm an animal scene. And I understand what he was going for because it was a different kind of thing that he was doing. So, yeah. Like, these two pictures to me look almost identical, if they aren't identical. And why would I color that twice? You know, so, like, I don't know. So, I regret buying this book, and I probably will not even color most of the stuff in here. I thought I would like it because it was him, and he's got his doodly style, but most of these pictures I don't like when I actually got it in hand. And that's probably a problem with seeing coloring books. There are a few that I regret getting because when you see them on camera, they either look better or worse, which is kind of weird. I don't know. But like the line work looks either darker or lighter than you expect. So it's just one of those things. But I regret buying that one. I would not do it again. 10. And I say that because I literally bought almost every other book twice from him. So that I have a copy that I can use with alcohol markers. But that one, no, I would not buy. The last one, it says, if you could recommend any coloring book that was released this year, what would it be? It would be Circle of Life. So I like this book, and I liked it so much when I saw the flip throughs that I placed it on pre-order. So I waited 2 months to get this book from Amazon US, and I love it. Now I've only done one picture in here, but I like it. And the reason I would recommend it is because, one, if you like detail, if you're a detail person like me, it's all in here. I also have a thing for circles, so that's in here. I also like the combination of, like, this is a real turtle, probably a real type of tree, but they're mixed together in some kind of weird way. So the quirkiness of it. My throat is just acting up. I'm so sorry. I also like the paper. It's not overly thick like a Kirby paper, but it's a decent weight, and you can do some watercolor stuff on it. Okay, you can use your Pitt pens on it, or Derwent ink tints on it, obviously color pencils. You can't use alcohol markers because it's double-sided and you'll end up messing up the picture on the back. And it seemed to take most of my colored pencils, the cheap ones and the more expensive ones, easily. The other thing I like about it too is because there is enough, like if you look at this picture, because there are enough lines in here, so you've got enough detail in this tree. Let me show you. I'll lift it up a little bit. So because you have a lot of lines that are already drawn in here, if you are a person who just likes to flat color, or a beginner who doesn't get the shading or whatever, because of the way the lines are in here, yes, it's detailed, but you could very easily just use one color and you would still have shading. And I think that helps a lot. You can also use gel pens in here. So for these little details, you could do that. Okay. Same thing here. You could make this as elaborate and more detailed as you wanted to, or you could just make it plain. I also like the fact that they're centered. So whereas a mythographic page, if you have this page here, which they're about the same size, you're going to have detail from top to bottom. Here it's more centralized and there's more space. Okay. Or like this one, the circle is definitely full, but you have more space around. I don't know. To me, it just seems like you could do this whether you are detailed oriented or not. Same thing with this. Like, this has a lot going on, but because of the lines that are there, you could just take one color and be done. All right. And then here is the one picture that I have colored in this. And this was a buddy color with Michelle. Oh, I'm mad at myself that this is the only picture I've done in here. I need to do another one. Okay, so that is the tag. And like I said, I'm just going to tag everybody. So if you've watched and you want to play along, just go ahead. Be tagged. Be free to be tagged. All right, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to go check out Sassy Coloring's channel, as well as my girl, Jo. All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye.